Hi everybody, this is Dr. Tracy Sigler. I'm going to be working with you this 8-week session on ethical leadership and organizational behavior. I apologize, I cannot get my camera to work, so normally I would put my face here, but I don't know what's going on with my laptop. So I'll just have to welcome you with a voice. So I'm assuming that you all have been in Canvas before, but you start out by going to the Start Here module. So this is a little bit of background about me, my families. So important here is the textbook. So we're using an open source textbook, which means it's free, it's online. You can download it or you can access it online. Here's some information about how to use Canvas. And then you'll find some more information about me. So we are online. So I'm happy to meet with you on Zoom. Hopefully my camera will work by then. One copy of the syllabus. And then there's another on the left side. We'll be talking about the Citadel characteristics of principled leaders. So here's a summary. Again, this is in the initial module, and then some information about the technology that you need to do an online class, which I assume you've been through before. So to start out with Module 1, Introduction to the Class and Managing Diversity. So we're going to introduce the subject of organizational behavior and learn about how to lead inclusively in the workplace. So every module is going to be set up with an overview, learning objectives, information about the module materials. So take a look at chapters 1 and 2 of the textbook. You can skim or read the headings or read as deep as you want to in order to be able to respond to the assignments in this section. Every week we're going to have a module or a journal assignment based on one of the characteristics, one of the characteristics of principled leaders at the Citadel. And so here are some materials for that journal. Participate in a discussion board. Because this is the first week, we've got 2 discussion boards. One's just an introduction. See if you can get your camera to work. So hopefully my work computer's camera will work so I can record my introduction. And then a second discussion board, which is kind of going to be the regular topic. So the discussion boards, again, this is the first week, so we're going to give you some time to get adjusted. Once we get started, your discussion board initial post should be posted by Wednesday at midnight, so that gives everybody till Sunday at midnight to respond to 2 other posts. And then there's a written assignment and a journal assignment. So every module has a discussion board, a written assignment, and a journal, along with some materials. So first, introduce yourself with a video. So here's back when my video worked, and that was the green screen that I had during COVID that didn't work with this program. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then at the end say, okay, here are my 2 truths and a lie. And we are going to try to figure out which of your statements is the lie and which are true. And then we'll come back and give everybody the answers later on. Okay, so the first regular discussion board for Module 1, or the only regular discussion board, is to get you thinking about what is organizational behavior. Basically, it's trying to understand, predict, and influence people's behavior at work. We often focus on influence and control and how do we make people do what we want them to do. But being able to understand why people act the way they do and being able to predict, if I make this change or if I say this or if I make this decision, how are people going to react can be important too. So answer those 3 questions. Post. So you'll have to post your own reply before you can view other people's. So again, try to do that first post by Wednesday at midnight. Our written assignment for this week is examining the idea of implicit or unconscious bias. This has been in the news a lot lately, so you might be familiar, with this topic. So we've got two different activities that go with this topic. One is to read the Sam Powers case and answer the 10 questions, and to take one of the implicit association tests at this Harvard site. So two different tools to help you reflect upon the extent to which you make assumptions and have some unconscious bias. So let's just say everybody has implicit unconscious bias just because we grow up in a society that is constantly feeding us messages about different groups and different individuals. Even if we consciously don't believe in them, we might have some unconscious biases that can get in the way of making the best decisions. So, some questions to think about for the Sam Powers case, so you don't have to answer those questions. So what I want you to write about is here number 4. So everybody has implicit bias. They're basically perceptual shortcuts, right? We don't have time to pay attention to every piece of data that we might possibly see and hear and taste and touch and smell, so we take shortcuts. So your response you should answer these 4 questions. What was your reaction? How might biases impact people's behavior at work? What can organizations do? And what did you learn? So I forgot to show you the rubric before. So here's the rubric for written assignments, and it's going to be the same every week as we move through the 8 weeks. So there is consistency. So in the discussion board, I wanted to show you up here. So see the 3 dots at the top right? It says show rubric. That's where you can get in and see the discussion board rubric. I'm not sure why it's kind of hidden up there when it's much more visible in the written assignment and the journal assignment. So the final assignment for each week is the journal. And so this week we're going to look at the first characteristic of principled leaders, which is leading with humility. So here's a definition. Take a look at the readings and the videos. Excuse me. Think about this quote and then evaluate yourself as an example of a humble leader. Okay, so this is pretty wide open. Usually there's some more specific questions, and take a look at the rubric as you're preparing. So you should make some connections between your experience and the materials that I've given you. Meet or exceed 750 word minimum. So usually it's a good page you need to do to fully respond. Be sure you incorporate and cite the course materials, so you might react to or question or reflect on the readings and the materials. Make sure you're using good grammar, spelling, and editing, and that you meet the assignment requirements. So this doesn't have to be like a real personal, private journal, but this is you taking time to reflect on your own approach to leadership. So that is a kind of a long summary of the first week, but once we get going, you'll see that each week has this 3 same assignments, but they just have different topics and different resources that go along with them. So let me know if you have any questions, and have a great week.